Good evening and welcome to WMKS News. I'm your host, Mike R. Today we have breaking news as well as developments in ongoing stories. Our top story tonight, MKS is releasing its first full-length feature. It's a movie about the legendary Golden Mullet. Let's go out to our field correspondent, Mike. He's at the Golden Mullet, and let's hear what he has to say. Thank you, Mike. Yes, we're here with this legendary vehicle, this 1967 Plymouth Belvedere 1. This car was parked in a swamp for 40 years. MKS has put out a movie on this car being released this Saturday, September 30th at 7 p.m. You're not going to want to miss it. It's an incredible story on this legendary car. For those who aren't familiar with the story of this car was pulled out of a swamp and brought here to the shop where they're going to be working on it and building a race car, a tribute, tongue-in-cheek, to the famous Silver Bullet from Detroit from back in the day, a famous street racing car. This car, the Golden Mullet, is a tribute to that car, kind of tongue-in-cheek. It's an incredible story. The first full-length feature on this car, from removing it from the swamp and bringing it here and asking the question, just like it is, will it run and drive after 40 years? What an incredible mystery this is going to be. And this is only the first phase in the entire process of building this car. What an incredible story. That's it for me out here in the field. Back to you in the studio, Mike. Thank you, Mike. It truly does sound like an incredible story, and from our understanding, this 2-hour feature is only the first in several to come. There's going to be an ongoing story about this car as they take it from this swamp-find, rusted-out vehicle to being a full-blown, supercharged drag race car. What an incredible story. Again, don't miss it. This Saturday, September 30th, 2023, premiering at 7 p.m. Now, we also understand that MKS wants to make sure that everybody is aware that the normal release schedule of Friday morning at 7 o'clock and Sunday morning at 7 o'clock has been canceled due to the release of this feature on Saturday, September 30th, 2023 at 7 o'clock p.m. We're really looking forward to seeing what this presentation is. We'll be right back after a brief word from our sponsor. In other news, what exactly is happening with that 1986 Dodge D150 $500 paint job truck? Let's go out to the shop and talk to Mike. Thank you, Mike. Yes, we're here with the 1986 Dodge D150, a series called Can We Paint This Truck for $500. Now, if you've seen recent episodes on this, the truck has been painted in the door jambs and the inside of the doors, and most of the body has been blocked out, but there's been no activity on this truck now for about a month and a half to 2 months. And when we talked to Mike about it, he said that life just keeps happening and things just keep getting in the way, and work situations and financial situations, and the weather hasn't been cooperating. He said that he just needs a good 2 12-hour days back to back to really be able to take this truck and get it finished. He's been very concerned about what the owner of the truck feels about it. So we did reach out to the owner of the truck and talk to him about it. And he basically said, and we quote, "Mike just worries way too much." That'll do it on this one. Let's go back to you in the studio, Mike. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate that update. We know that there have been a lot of channel viewers on the MKS channel who have been really concerned about the delays in that project. And so we appreciate you being out on the field and just getting that update for us. In other news, what exactly ever happened to the Forsyth Duster project? Let's go out to our field correspondent, Mike, and get an update on that project. Thank you, Mike. We recently had information that this car, which had been under a tarp for quite some time here at the MKS shop, was recently uncovered, and it led us to want to ask the question, why was it uncovered and what's going to be happening? Well, rumor has it that as the weather turns colder and winter starts coming on, that Mike is going to be back working on this car. Now, the understanding is that the some of it's going to be fabrication, but that back here, back in the corner, there are boxes with things like a floor pan and, well, actually a couple of floor pans. And I believe there is even a torsion bar cross member that will be installed in the car. Now, we understand that the holdup on this project has been the rusty inner rocker panel on the driver's side. Now, this car is, according to our understanding, is not as much a fabrication project as the other project over there called Stitches, the 1970 Stitches Challenger. But this car is more of a get it done as quickly as possible. But according to what Mike said when we talked to him earlier, the inner rocker on this side is completely shot and there's nothing to attach that torsion bar cross member to. The holdup has been, first of all, trying to see if we could purchase that inner rocker panel, which apparently Mike says is not possible. Nobody has it available right now. So he had to kind of work through the process of how to fabricate that part and do it in such a way that the car will maintain its integrity. This car is pretty much Swiss cheese inside, and there are a bunch of episodes on the MKS channel that you can look at to check it out. But our understanding is that there will be progress being made on this car in the next 6 months throughout the winter on the MKS YouTube channel. We are also standing here with the original numbers matching 340 out of the Forsyth Duster. Now, we understand that Mike will be tearing this engine down soon and doing a thorough inspection and making a determination on exactly what needs to be done to put this motor back together again. The mystery is it's already bored 30 thousandths. Will it have to be bored out more to clean up the rust that's in these cylinders from this motor being stored since sometime in the 80s? Well, we don't know, so we're going to have to come back and get updates on that as he works on it more. But this is the original motor, the numbers matching motor for that Forsyth Duster. Well, that's going to do it on the updates on the Forsyth. Back to you in the studio, Mike. Thank you, Mike. We also understand that they will be changing the transmission from the original numbers matching 3-speed, which is broken. The tail housing is completely snapped off of that transmission. And although it's fixable, and apparently they do have all the parts to fix it, the decision has been made to go ahead and put a 4-speed in that car instead, because they're preserving it as an historical drag racing car that has local heritage and local history and is fairly well known in drag racing circles in this area. It's not felt that it's necessary to put all the numbers matching parts back in the car. Now, they have it all, definitely, but apparently, from what they've said, they're going to be putting a 4-speed in the car just for the fun of drivability, and apparently they do have a 4-speed up in the warehouse for that car. And our final story of the day, over at the MKS shop, what exactly is happening with the cars that are stored over in the other garage? Let's go out to our field correspondent, Mike, and see what he has to say. That's right, we are here at the other garage on the Our Place Homestead, which is the home of the MKS YouTube channel, and we're asking the question, what is going on with the 2 cars in this garage that we don't see a whole lot on the channel? Well, from what we understand, both of these cars were on the channel just recently, but let's get some updates on what these vehicles are, what's happening. On this side of the garage, we do have Old Fat Fanny, which is the 1947 Ford 80s styled street rod. And what we understand is this car is not far from being done. Apparently, Mike and Becky need to do a little bit more wiring work to it, and they need to get the grill painted and put on the car. And then they really could move forward with getting this car back on the road. Now, we have heard them say this for quite some time now, and it's only in the last couple of years that there's been forward motion. But it really raises the question, will they really follow through and get this done in the next year, or will it still be in the same condition it is right now a year from now? Time will tell. And in a surprising move, the 69 Charger was actually in the shop just recently. In matter of fact, it might have just been a couple of days ago, and a whole bunch of work was done. There was rear shocks put on, and inner door handles done, and a coolant leak fixed. And according to what Mike says, this car is going to be back in the queue more often because they want to get the trim and the glass and other things on this car as soon as possible. So we'll see if that happens or not. But it is kind of exciting to hear that the 69 Dodge Charger maybe, just maybe, back in the queue. That's it from here out at the second shop, out at the My Car Shop place on the Our Place Homestead. Back to you in the studio. Well, it certainly will be interesting to see if that's just all talk or if Mike will actually follow through and get those projects back in the queue and make forward motion on those cars. Now, we wanted to reach out to Mike and find out updates on things like the 70 Stitches Challenger, the 73 Scoops Swinger, the 74 Sassy Swinger, Becky's 88 4x4, the 26 Oakland, and other projects that Mike might have going that we're not aware of, but he was unavailable for comment. So we'll circle back around to that at another time and get updates for everybody on those projects. Recapping our top story of the day, the MKS full-length feature will be released on September 30th, 2023 at 7 p.m., and there will not be regular episodes on Friday morning at 7 o'clock and Sunday morning at 7 o'clock surrounding that day. So don't watch for those, but be sure to tune in Saturday, September 30th at 7 p.m. You're not going to want to miss it. Well, that's the news for today here on WMKS. We appreciate you watching, and be sure to tune in for all the latest and greatest breaking news. I'm Mike, and you've been watching WMKS News here at My Car Shop on YouTube. Thanks for watching.
Rock!